So let's do some other stories now. And the special prosecutor has directed the criminal prosecution of the chief executive of the Northern Development Authority, Sumaila Abdurrahman, and two others, Deputy Chief Executive Stephen Yeru Eggman and Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Finance and Administration, Patrick Seidu. The directive follows the OSP's investigations into suspected corruption and related offences at the Northern Development Authority in respect of a contract awarded to A&QS Consortium Limited for consultancy services under the Poverty Eradication Program. Having found the three culpable, the special prosecutor has also directed the Controller and Accountant General to immediately freeze payment to A&QS under NDA's implementation of IPEP until investigations are over. Now let's share with you some highlight of the report released by the OSP. Now it says that the Office of the Special Prosecutor presents this report on an investigation into a complaint of suspected corruption and corruption-related offences against Northern Development Authority and A&QS Consortium Limited, a private company incorporated in Ghana and operating from Wa in the Upper West region. The report has been heavily redacted to protect the privacy of persons and the lawful trade secret of the private company referred to in paragraph 1.1. In 2017, so laying the background for this, in 2017, the ruling New Patriotic Party instituted the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, hereafter IPEP, in fulfillment of a campaign promise to reduce poverty, especially in rural and deprived communities, through the allotment of the CD equivalent of $1 million United States to every electoral constituency. In pursuance of the IPEP, the government created the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives, and it further established three development authorities: Coastal Belt Development, Middle Belt Development Authority, and Northern Development Authority, which replaced Savannah Accelerated Development Authority. The Northern Development Authority, hereafter NDA, was established under Northern Development Authority Act 2017, Act 963, to mobilize resources for the accelerated economic and social development of the Northern Development Zone, constituting the Northern, Savannah, Northeast, Upper West, and the Upper East regions, and comprising 57 electoral constituencies. It is headquartered in Tamale in the Northern region. Now, who filed the complaint? By a written complaint dated 15 June 2022 and addressed to the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Martin Luther Pegbu, a private legal practitioner, requested for investigation into the operations of NDA and the actions of its chief executive and board chairman. The complaint alleged that NDA awarded a contract to A&QS Consortium Limited, hereafter A&QS, on 28th January 2020 for consultancy services for the supervision of some constituencies in the Upper West region under the IPEP. Now, it says for the contract sum of 5,720,000 cedis. However, upon the exit of the then acting chief executive who executed the contract sum was illegally increased to 10,400,000 cedis by the removal of the page containing the original figure of 5,720,000 cedis and its replacement at page 25, clause 33.1 of the contract sum with a fresh page containing the bloated figure of 10,400,000 cedis to make it appear as if it is the contract executed by the previous acting chief executive. The complaint also alleged that the Public Procurement Authority approved the award of the contract in the sum of 5,720,000 cedis on 16 January 2020, and that no approval was sought for the inflated figure of 10,400,000 cedis. The complaint further alleged that though the contract has expired, NDA has gone ahead to implement same and paid about 3 million cedis, and there was an attempt to pay an additional 5 million cedis. All right, so let's bring you more by, we're being joined on phone by Adam Senanu, an anti-corruption campaigner, and Martin Pegbu, who is a lawyer. You heard from that report that he was one of the complainants in there. Let me start with Mr. Martin Pegbu. Let me rather start with Adam Senanu. Adam, you've been at the forefront of campaigning against corruption. By hearing this report by the OSP, what is your initial reaction to this?
First of all, commendations to my comrade Martin for taking this up. I think it demonstrates that citizens need to be up and doing. If our voices are heard, if our eyes are around, if we ensure that the right entities, agencies get to know about these things, there's likelihood that we'll get action. The report itself, I mean, this is just criminality of the highest order. You pick out one sheet with 5 million, replace with another sheet with 10 million, you don't get the necessary approvals, and you proceed to want to execute. This is criminality of the highest order. I mean, I'm glad that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has, as it were, confirmed that this requires investigation and prosecution, and that the AG is being instructed to do so. We hope that such persons, anyone who is really culpable, should be found guilty and jailed. And let's make sure that we set high precedents for the public officers in this country.
Interesting. For you, what do you expect to see after this report has been made public, after we know that this is what happened? What is your expectation?
I would expect that the court processes should kick in quickly, and let's begin to have a reportage on what is going on in court. This shouldn't take a very long period. Indeed, my view has always been that we need a fast-track court for anti-corruption purposes, because the kind of impunity we are seeing now, if you don't have processes that are swift and robust, you send the wrong message to people who think they can get away with these kinds of actions.
Okay. Let me bring in Martin Peguna. Martin, you filed this complaint, and we are where we are. Are you satisfied with what has been put out so far by the OSP so far?
Extremely satisfied with the output of the special prosecutor so far. Notwithstanding that that office is grossly underfunded and greatly constrained. So, who am I talking to, please?
Okay, my name is Kojo Brace.
Yes, Kojo. Now, what happens is that you see the Office of the Special Prosecutor, they have just 3 investigators, and the total staff strength is 10. So they are constrained. Otherwise, this case would have been in court long ago. They charged these guys in September 2022. When I say charge, it doesn't mean it went to court. You see, the charge stage is where the investigator or the investigating authority makes a determination that, yes, in their estimation, based on the evidence gathered so far, the suspect has committed the offense. So he moves from the status of a suspect to accused person. So these persons were charged in September. But I see that it took from September to now, another, how many? 4 months for the case to go to court. So it tells you that the special prosecutor needs help. Right now, as I'm talking, some lawyers are are signing a petition for us to go present to the president, calling upon him to resource the special prosecutor to give him the establishment budget. Yes, so there's a petition that lawyers are signing because we need to fund the special prosecutor to make him more efficient and more effective. Otherwise, look, the people looting, they are continuously looting. As we are talking now, they are looting. Tomorrow they will loot. It goes on and on and on. So we need to fund the special prosecutor quickly so that he can clamp down more of such schemes. Because there are a lot in the system. There are a lot. And they keep on doing this things daily.
Well, so now the special prosecutor, and from this it says that on 1st July 2022, the special prosecutor directed the Controller and Accountant General to immediately freeze payment to A&QS and the NDA's implementation of the IPEP until the close of the investigation. It also says that on the basis of the findings, the special prosecutor directed criminal prosecution of persons named below: Sumaila Abdul Rahman, Mr. Stephen Yerego Engman, Patrick Seidu, and Andrew Kundari. So was this what you were looking for? And for the prosecution, how are you expecting it to proceed?
Yeah, okay. Kojo, this is not exactly what I was looking for. There were 2 more officers. There's a lady at the office of the president called Clara Napagatia. Yes. So that lady, she's like now de facto minister. she approved the payment too. So I was hoping that she was also going to be charged, because as the boss, at a minimum, you can't say if subordinates bring you anything, you just approve. Did she check to see whether there was a contract, there was authorization for such payment? Why did she approve? So Clara Napagatia at the Office of the President, the coordinator of the Special Development Initiative, I think she should have been charged as well. Then the budget officer, the director of budget, all the people who approved it. Because it means that minimum, if we cannot prove that they were intentionally involved, then it means they were being negligent. Because, you see, we don't have much money. Somebody brings you a PV in millions of Ghana cedis to approve, and you just approve. You don't ask for the document. That's assuming you are not involved. You didn't know. But before you append your signature, don't you ask for? If it were your personal money, wouldn't you check before you approve? So, but, the special prosecutor knows best. So, for now, we have to go along with him. Okay. But Clara, too, has something to answer. Napagatia. Yes, she has something to answer. And the director of budget. Okay. And it goes all the way to the chief of staff as well. Because let's not forget, before I reported this matter, this case had been reported to the president about 5.5 months through the chief of staff. And she sat on the letter. So, or do we say she was also sleeping on a job? 5.5 months. Had it not been for you, Joy FM, this case wouldn't have gone anywhere. Yes, so we are very grateful to you, Joy FM, for holding this case as your baby. And today we are here because of the support. It's actually your case, because I just came to report on your channel. If you hadn't given me the news file platform, the world wouldn't have heard this case. And so you see how the politicians ganged up. They were just going to make the case a foolish one. 5.5 months. So look, the letter to the president through the chief of staff, copy to Baumia, vice president, Nathan, the chief executive, all right, and so on and so forth. Many people, about 9 recipients, yet they decided that this case, it would be a foolish one, it won't go anywhere. But for Joy FM, and then subsequently CTFM, and then, of course, let's not forget Kwekubako's crusading guide. You see, so these guys, if we don't split up, they will loot everything. They will loot everything. If you think the politician is like you, is thinking about you and I, you are mistaken. It's all about create, loot, and share. Okay. Create, loot, and share. And you see where we are today. You've seen the Auditor General's report. Okay. That's a child's play. More ongoing.
I'm grateful to you, Lawyer Martin Pegu and his Adam Senanu for joining us on this particular discussion.